Hello everybody, today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I like the XRV 750 Africa Twin, this bike here. So if you have nothing to do, come with me to find out. And welcome back guys, this is Adrian here, 44 Degrees Motorbike Adventures. If you're new to this channel and you like the content, please consider subscribing. So guys, the first thing that I like about this bike is the reliability of this bike. This bike is very reliable. It's a bike that doesn't have many issues aside from the rectifier and the fuel pump. There's not many issues that you can occur with this bike, and the engine is a really bulletproof engine. If you maintain the bike properly, you're not going to get any issues with the engine. Of course, like I had an issue, for example, of the oil pipe of the radiator leaking, which I had to change the seals. These are things that actually, wear off, so you're gonna have some problems like that. But aside of that, I've done many miles with this bike, traveled to Wales, traveled to England, and I've been traveling around Ireland for 3 years, and I had not much issues with this bike. So reliability is my first thing that I love about this bike, so that's number one. Number two on my list is the comfort, how this bike is comfortable. This bike is very good to take on long journeys. There's a lot of protection, wind protection. The screen and the fairings do a great job in protecting you from the elements. And the engine is very smooth. The gearbox are very smooth. You don't feel tired on this bike when you ride for many hours. The seat position is really, really good on this bike. I really love it. You're very tall, high, and really great visibility. So yeah, number two for me is comfort. I love this bike. This bike is very comfortable. Number three on my list is adequate power. And what I mean by that is this bike is not a supermoto by any means, but it has adequate power to overtaking motorways, has enough torque for you to pull this bike up, like let's say if you're going off-road. It's a great bike to take luggage on it, by the standards today, by today's bikes, this probably is not a very powerful bike. It's only 61 horsepower, but it's adequate power for me, and I think there's too many emphasis now into getting the highest power bike ever out there. For me, adequate horsepower is better. So that's the number third on my list. Number four for me is simplicity. This bike is very simple. It's a very old school bike. It's a carburetor bike. It doesn't have enough tech, not electronics, things that can go wrong. It doesn't have ABS, doesn't have traction control, doesn't have all this extra stuff that you pay that enough money, which probably is good in some way, but that can cause you feel troubles on the other hand. So this bike is quite simple to work, very easy to disassemble, very easy to actually access, like for example the valve clearance is very easy to do, maintenance is very easy. You can take this bike apart very, very easy. It's not complicated stuff like there's not enough the fairings, for example. This bike is only screwed in. It's easier to access, easy to maintain, so it makes you more inclined to do jobs on this bike. So simplicity for me is a great thing. I actually moved away since I had the Transalp. I moved away from bikes that are complex to work on. I don't like that. I prefer bikes that are simple, easy to maintain, and have nothing that can go wrong. So simplicity for me is number four on my list. All right, so last but not least, it's the looks of this bike. I love the looks of this bike. I love the retro look of this bike. This bike it has been released 35 years ago, and to this day still actually turn heads wherever you go. Wherever you stop, people come to look at the bike. People start talking to you about the bike. There is actually a really good cult around this bike. A lot of people that have this bike or had them before loved them and always talking about them and ask you questions from, and looks is important. You have to actually, for me, you have to actually park your bike and turn around and look and say, well, that's my bike out there, you know. So for me, looks is important, and I like the look of this bike. I really love it. So as I say, look is a personal thing. In the, you know, you might not look, you might not like it, but I actually love it, and a lot of people that I talk to love the way the bike is set up. New bikes coming out in the market now, they're kind of looking the same. Every one of them pretty much are the same, and they all try to I don't know, to be the same with the bigs, you know, like for example the BMW, and now every bike has those things. The headlights are strange for me. This bike is really really nice. It looks really well. So looks for me is the fifth thing. So there you go. That's my 5 things. But of course, with any bike, there's a few things that you're not gonna like. So I'm gonna go through them now. So if you stay with me, and I wanna tell you the things that I it's not that I don't like, but things that I could improve the bike. So come with me. So well, as to expect, there are a few things that probably it gets you on your nerve, annoys you, and whatever bike you buy, there's no bike that's 100% that's going to make you happy and it's going to do everything that you want to do, or it's going to actually look and have enough gadgets that you might want it. So as I say, simplicity for me is important. So but yeah, there's not many things that I don't like about this bike. To be honest with you, there is not many things. There are not many things. The only thing I think I don't like about it is the fact that there's no fuel gauge in this bike, and I don't see why there was not fuel gauge on these bikes. You know, because there is a temperature gauge. That's the only thing that annoys me in some way. I don't think, I think annoys me. It's not the word, because it doesn't annoy me anymore. It just, it's something that could have been done, you know, at that time. So it wasn't done. So I would rather change the temperature gauge for a fuel gauge. But that's one of the things that I don't like about it. With the 35 years on the road, there are a few things that you need to upgrade on this bike. So I won't say these things are things that I don't like. It's things that needs to be done. Like for example, the suspension of these bikes probably need an upgrade to make it more stiffer. Probably they are too soft. The rims on these bikes might get rust, the original ones, so you might have to change. But these things are not things that are like per se like that is that I don't like. It's just things that needed to be done. So yeah, so that's only one thing that I just don't like, is the fact that like the temperature gauge is there, but not the fuel gauge. So yeah, for me that's it. That's the only thing. So if you have one of these bikes or own one of these bikes before, and you have lots of experience more than me, please feel free to leave a comment in there for me and let me know exactly what things that you loved about this bike and the things that you didn't like as well. So, and no bike is perfect, and I know this one is not perfect. So thanks very much guys for watching, and I see you guys next time.